fought your way through Newton? I would have suggested the stealthy approach, but I'm also deathly allergic to homicidal cultists.
There you are. You saw the experiment through to the end, yes? The data hasn't arrived yet, so please do tell. Was it as beautiful as I imagined? Any inklings to the result? Or perhaps I oughtn't to have recloistered myself till after the experiment concluded, Well, don't just stand there. Tell me everything. Some issues? You seem like softening the blow. Was there a malfunction? Was there some error in the calculations? Wait. Let's start from the beginning. Step me through your understanding of what's gone awry. I assure you it is not. Grace was personally responsible for its selection after advisement by our team. Everything is modeled after top-order labs. What else concerned you? Everyone knows probabilistic variance doesn't occur. That's established bedrock. Not that I spend much time in the lab myself. And, well, with science, one is never truly certain. This was just a start. Such models typically make an enormous amount of errors at first. All quite expected. An anticipated setback, nothing more. It simply needs to be revised and refined. You certainly seem to be making a lot out of this, though, one must say. Really? I doubt you've had ample time to review everything assiduously enough to fire both barrels like that. Though I admire your operational candor. Look, there may be some validity to some of your points, yes. But we'll improve. We will continue to stride forward. There's absolutely no need for all this doom and gloom. Why, I'm shocked. I'm certainly glad Seer Bujolt isn't present to hear such needlessly provocative and deplorable accusation. There is no call for that sort of meanness in the scientific field. And I can personally attest that it is categorically untrue. Now, is that all? Because I think I've had enough of all this. Everything we've done here is built off Seer Bujolt's research, which is quite brilliant. It sounds like you have some expertise in the field and have scrutinized her work quite thoroughly. Mayhap I ought to give it another look. Ah, The experiment data just arrived in my terminal. Allow me to eyeball it a moment. Perhaps there's something here to help prove or disprove any of what you've been saying. There was some variance to the input data. Not far beyond acceptable parameters, but curious. Could explain the failure. Oh, come. One bad test wouldn't mean the science is completely flawed. This has been a difficult conversation. Challenging, disputatious, at times compelling. Yet I remain unswayed.
If I may, I have a point I'd like to add. There's a critical flaw in Sir Bujold's approach I think best illustrated by this English phrase. Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. I much appreciate this jest. Very simple, yet clever. Because in English, the word like can mean similar to or I prefer. And flies can be to soar, or plural of the insect. Through this perspective, it functions, makes sense, is humorous even. But in another language where words' meanings differ slightly, it does not. The framework we interpret the statement from changes, thus rendering it uninterpretable. False. Bujold's method of shortcutting the universal equation is much the same.
It lacks context. When you extrapolate the data from the mini-universe to the larger one, the information itself may scale correctly, but fail to interrelate. That is an interesting thought puzzle. As humorous as it is inapplicable. I remain unswayed.
We tried. Our fallback plan's our only option now. Head for the hatch.
What was that? You're starting to worry me. What do you intend to do?
Fellow scholars of the Order, a tragic accident has occurred. During our recent experiment in the test chamber data, we failed to recognize that ventilation systems had been left connected to test chamber Alpha. As you know, it had been recently refurbished as an enclosure for Ankaris Braun. She gave her life for science. Well, it's true that we found the related research deeply flawed, but she gave her life for the pursuit of science. As the experiment was a colossal failure, I, as senior scientist remaining, have determined we must abandon this inquiry and shut down the program immediately. Oh, such a terrible shame. Farewell.
I understand now why they say never meet your heroes, Intercessor Delgado. You've truly been an enormous disappointment. A key experiment fails and Ankaris Braun falls prey to an unfortunate accident right after you and your consort arrive. And we are all to believe these events are unrelated?
That's circumstantial and more than a mite bit paranoid. I expect better from an Order scientician. Even one from the Department of Applied Scientism.
Don't think I don't see your handprints all over this, Delgado. Don't try to lay the responsibility for this on me. I'm not buying it. The Anchoress, poor trusting soul that she was, may have believed you were here in good faith. But I don't. You're looking more and more like enemies to me. You think I'm predisposed to assume their logic is sound and reasoning impeccable? Perhaps I do defer in part where such intellects are involved. Yet, the greater facts of this matter remain unevinced, and I remain unconvinced. Really? You don't say. I know you're to blame. I just wanted to see how far you were gonna take this. I can't believe Anchoress Brunn fell for any of it. Fellow exemplars of the Order, commence hostilities!
Unfriendly nearby.
Narrowing against my target!
Let me end this fight on my feet. Check your scope for combat. Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Enemy intercepted.
Adversary vulnerability. Have a fix on their weaknesses. Deploying discombobulator. Combatant scan. Do try to limit taking the bite out of them. They're benumbed.
Re-engaging.
I have a fix. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
To the rescue! Sight unseen! Sight on the way!
Discombobulating enemies. Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Customary intimidation.
Resupplying weapons!
Oh, look who it is. The legendary former head intercessor of the Order. Another mission successfully completed. Made it through all that without a scratch, hmm? Glad to see. Say, I know this was difficult and rather a mess, but you listened. You tried to do right before you did what you must. I appreciate it, the attempt. No matter how that may sound.
The credit or blame belongs to the commander here. It was their decision, ultimately.
You forget I know you. You always thought you knew better. No one could ever convince you of anything. Before, that is. Good to see. Maybe you are facing yourself.
There are a few things I'm still not used to saying. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Please. And thank you. But thank you, Anais.
At any rate, I'm off. You all take care now. Marisol, don't be too enigmatic or anything. Try. Before I forget. Meant to give you this earlier.
Oh, thank you, Anais. Goodbye. Oh, Brunn obviously murdered her. Thought you knew that. Perhaps it was an accident. Perhaps she simply wanted to knock Chow unconscious so she could sneak away. Or not. Indefinite immurement isn't for everyone. Even the finest minds may crack under the strain. But her canned, feigned concern about Chow, how she kept changing the subject, both belied an underlying sense of guilt to me. Oh, not really. Not yet, at any rate. Everything's a bit raw right now. But suppose I will be. Thank you, dear.
Might take some time for Marisol to see yet, but I reckon this was the best possible outcome. There's always another way. Now she knows that too.
Commander, it's customary to evaluate results after a mission of reasonable significance. Would now be good? I've had some time to cogitate over what occurred at Point Obviation. Some parts don't sit right with me still. Wonder if you and I might talk it through. A bit, yes. With the work I used to do, I'm no stranger to guilt and regret. Midway into my requisite sleep cycle is when it usually plagues me the most. We could have done better by Anchoress Brunn. If we'd properly convinced her to abandon the research, I'd doubtlessly still lament duping her, but she'd be alive. And yet, such actions were par for the course for me in the past. When my remorse for Brunn rears its head, it will need to get in line. Yes, Southworth was complicit. And now she's dead. I hope so, at least. According to Anais, we could have reduced the likelihood of that occurring by completing the brain-off. It's not anywhere near zero, but it's unlikely. Let's say there are no present perils from my romantic past I'm aware of, though I can't rule it out completely. No, I'm thinking more about Anais. She seemed pleased that we at least attempted to address her concerns, so I've changed, apparently. Thanks to you. No. There's plenty of credit and blame to go around.
It's been a while since anyone gave me a good talking to like Anais did. And I'll admit your influence has been rather positive. I'm pleased with the path I'm on now. I didn't think this is what the plan had in store for me. I've been facing myself with the same zeal I face my enemies. With tidier results. Appreciate you taking the time to talk it over, Commander.
As your peerless leader, known for her unparalleled business, above the occasional frivolity, I enjoy spectating a rousing sporting match as much as all of you face rank and file. The big ring cuts off toss volumes from the home, but our Arcadian
Cures most infections overnight.
Pitchball, they call it. Until they started on their own.
The story of Anti-Cleo versus the Moon Man is a ballad for our ages. A thing of legend to be handed down for a modesty to each successive
Thank you for your customer service, contractor.
mascot represents the worst Of Corporation.
Tramicular, arriving any moment now. Approaching station.
Nature heedlessly assembled and vastly rebettered it through artificial means. At Auntie's Choice, we strive to be 110% wholly plus artificial. Artificiality is our...
Good luck, my ameliorator.
Don't let us
Remember, you can't spell heinous ascetic without Auntie's Choice.
of unavoidable embedded chemicals. Sweeter with Auntie's Choice.
Look at you rocketing up the corporate ladder.
Our portfolio is diversified, but we can always do better. I'll give it to you straight in my quarterly underperformance review. First up, excessive corporate malfeasance. The only division that earns us less when they more. Ease off the throttle, gang. Won't be any malfeasance if you don't.
It's high time one of you scientist types responded to my calling cards. The position's been open for more than 2 days, and already productivity is tanked by 149.4%. You want the role, it's yours, but I'm not budging on those hourly rates.
Let me guess. You're backfilling Rasmussen's position? Or all the scientists who work with him on Cloister lying cold on the lab floor?
Both, obviously. Unless you mean to tell me a graft like yours can install itself. Now, do you want the job or not? We're burning starlight.
Between the rifts, aggressive rivals, and the actions of maverick freelancers, there's a lot of volatility out there right now. The market hates uncertainty. Can't say I care for it.
Decent? I'll have you know that profits were forecast to be in the billions in my assessment last quarter.
That's not what we're talking about. Look, we found your lab on Cloister. A friend of mine who succumbed to his graft sent me there to put an end to your work. It was damn troubling. But after speaking with your doc, I came to see that the program's got much potential. If we shift focus, reform our work, grafts could better the lives for all folk. Rasmussen's now with Doc Tinsley in Fairfield, and they're ready to restart this work if we can get your agreement. No more killing, much more progress. What do you say?
I see someone failed out of the anti-Cleo School of Persuasion. Why would I ever pursue something so dull as reform? How does it serve me?
Auntie's Choice or its subsidiary companies, and the eating of said parasite absolves Auntie's Choice of any legal responsibility in perpetuity throughout the galaxy.
Rags? I'll have you know this suit was tailor-made for me at full price. But any publicity is, as they say, good. And in any case, Auntie's Choice has a certain manner of doing business. Reform suggests that I go against it. There's little to be gained from that.
While the protectors decide what did some chicks get, we respond to what you...
And any publicity is good, as they say. But there is one small fly in the soup. Who exactly are you to dictate to me what we should be doing? I did not even know your name before you stepped through this door.
20 years to bring a new product to market.
When I joined up in Tau Ceti, I was promised that if I proved myself, demonstrated exceptionalism, the moment would come where I could make a pitch for my own future. I ensured the safety of the delegates at the peace talks. I helped hunt down the fiend who destroyed our base on Golden Ridge. So yeah, I'd say the moment I'm owed has arrived.
Fine. Perhaps there is an opportunity here to expand our user base. But we can only pursue such a thing if we secure the funding. I could approach my business partner to this end, but I will require proof that this little reformation of yours is a viable investment. As such, you need to prove that a grafted trooper can achieve what the average one cannot.
You say that as though you have something in mind.
I do. The commander of our fortified position on Praetor has been chomping at the bit for a show of force, to rally the troops in our market share, so to speak. He will have all the minute details, of course, but assisting him and demonstrating your prowess will give us the leverage we need. I could tell you possessed a modicum of business sense. Head to Praetor. I'll send a reporter with camera drones to meet you there and debrief with our ground forces.
Hold on. You didn't say anything about this being filmed.
Heroism is nothing without exciting footage and a talking head to sell it to the masses. So do make sure you put on a good show. Off you go, then.
Operations. Welcome to your new role as Site Sanitation Manager, Doc. Next, we have Reginald Oswald in proprietary insight acquisition, demoted for playing confidential logs in a paid public toilet. Not what I mean when I encourage working on the go. Perhaps a strategic step backward to document index manager. Refresh your info security fundamentals, Reggie. Congrats! You're now a file clerk. Files. Next is Elise Rickshaw in product development. Remember Elise when you told colleagues over drinks at the bottle runner that I was, quote, long in the tooth and short on ideas?
You cannot be here. My contract stipulates that this lab door remains locked at all times. I am not to be disturbed. Ha! That's funny, considering the heaps of times I've been called such. Unofficially, it was also in my contract that I was never to refer to myself as a direct report of the Vice President. Which I am notably not doing right now. Is that so strange? The program I was hired for is highly confidential. I don't see why the Vice President wouldn't take such measures. Why, I cannot even speak to him directly. Though I presume he also possesses an aversion to the smell of formaldehyde. He goes pale and ducks into his office the moment he sees me.
Well, that ain't right. Neither his managerial manner nor your working conditions. But once we get this program reworked, you won't have to worry about this anymore.
Oh, no. No, I don't want change. I love my work. I love this place. The smell of copper, the texture of viscera. There's nothing like it.
Don't encourage this.
Fascinating. I suppose I have been approaching this from a far too clinical angle. What fun! Anyhow, I have much work to do. Please ensure the door is locked when you leave.
Human billboards. Of course, I also enjoy the simple pleasure of watching professional athletes bludgeon each other. Such a relatable interest. See, subordinates, I'm just like you. Until next time, look for me in the Platinum Executive Skybox above the line of scrimmage. Anti-Cleos was specifically founded to fight what nature inflicts, to offer higher-quality pharmaceuticals designed to be better than nature, because nature will... Evolved first of many arrivals. A pattern which remains irrevocable. Yes, now we strive to spread unfettered free trade and development throughout the galaxy, but we do so knowing you persist. Fortified by our products, so strong. Right.
That reporter's gotta be nearby. Ain't keen to jump to conclusions, but I think I got a notion of what we're doing here.
I'm Orland Crawford, the outsourced but never outmatched wartime correspondent for the ACS Undisputed Claim. You must be the grafted soldier, here to show us all what you can do.
The name's Inez, and yes, Willard Conan sent me to help you with some sort of... I don't know what exactly.
Now, let's not skip on introductions. Who is this you have with you?
You could say that the teacher has become a student of a cold, harsh world.
The soldier and the bookworm. Not the most compelling of partnerships, but it may work out.
Never seen a grafted trooper in action before, but I'm looking forward to watching you work. Your mission, Trooper, is to capture the Protectorate blockade to the north. Their defenses are too great to face head-on, so you'll want to sneak in through the back entrance. We've obtained the entry codes through great effort.
My camera drones will be filming the action from above, so do put on a good show. Blow up a few things, and use Inez's abilities to demonstrate the might of Auntie's choice. Yes?
They've detained several of our scouts. I'd like to see them returned. If you deliver this weapons cache to them and free them, they might offer some aid in the fight.
This is quite the opportunity. Normally, a POW might be written off as shrinkage, an unfortunate, unavoidable loss. But their rescue will be worth far more in publicity.
So what? If I hadn't come along, you all would have left those troopers to rot.
Our motto is to leave no man behind, unless it breaches our contract and promises financial penalties, which this does. Now, take these codes for the back door and go.
Once you infiltrate the blockade, neutralize our foes, and open the gates, our remaining troops will move in to secure the blockade for ourselves. Any questions? That's the spirit. Oh, I look forward to seeing you take the fight to those fiends. It's about time Auntie gave them a good walloping. Ooh, and spare some time for me after you emerge victorious, won't you? What am I saying? Of course you will. Who wouldn't want to be interviewed for the wireless? Go on now.
Here we are, about to kick the proverbial mantisaur nest. Hope you're ready for your close-up. Damn. Of course they got a bunker mech. We need to take it by surprise, without alerting the other troopers, mind.
Sustain the system.
Got my lamps on a hostage.
Sovereign. This paradigm.
Prosecuting!
I despise asking for it. I must.
My hammer.
Lay low, Commander! Medic's orders! Draft aim ready! Draft's raring to go! Let's get you healed!
Someone call for a medic.
Happy to help! History! Vitals looking a much powerful, Commander! Prescription filled! Medical pack out! Anyone else? Here, a medic?
Ammunition.
That's a little pick-me-up for you. Unseen. Practicing some battlefield medicine.
It is a privilege to die for the throne.
For the history books. Let's open the gate for that reporter and the troops before these bodies get cold.
Over here! You aren't working for these guys, are you? Come on, open up!
We're here! Let's have a word with the hero of the moment for the wireless. What a show! Auntie will be beside herself when she hears of her shiny new blockade. If you weren't already contracted with Willard, I'd think to hire you for the next news staging.
All in a day's work. You said something about an interview. Well, I got a lot riding on this. You'll make me look good, right?
It's audio only, Trooper. And you're working with a true professional now. Let me work, huh? Relax. Be authentically you, though you'd be wise to throw in a tagline or two. Ready?
Well,
Great! Recording's already begun. I'm here, live at the scene with the fearsome grafted soldier Inez. It's a shame you cannot see this, dear listener, for it is impressive indeed. Inez, your destruction of those dastardly Protectorate troops was awe-inspiring. You must feel like the employee of the month, having brought such a decisive victory to Auntie's choice.
I'm just, doing my part. I joined up because I believed in our mission, to liberate Arcadia. Reckon my actions illustrate that more than anything I could ever say. I ain't sure what else to say. What does the audience want to hear exactly?
They want to hear sordid details, but not so sordid that it'll staunch their worst buying habits. Now focus and don't fret. We'll clean this up in post. Dear audience, the voice you just heard is that of the soldier's close associate and eyewitness to the battle and the marvelous carnage littering the land. You also freed some of our troopers from the Protectorate's fiendish grasp. One can only imagine the torture they suffered. Tell us about it. The rescue, in detail if you would.
Look, I did what anyone with an ounce of sense would do. Ain't gonna leave one of my own in such a state. And if I had it my way, I would have acted sooner. Yeah, that's exactly right. I plan on doing everything in my power to bring a swift end to this war, and keep as many civvies out of harm's way as possible.
A heartwarming sentiment, but not too swift an end to the war, I hope. It's good for business, as we all know. In any case, those soldiers can finally return to their postings again. Now, I have a question about your abilities, Inez. What sets a trooper like you apart from the rest?
These graphs make me stronger. Good in a bind. I know I'm a bit of a curiosity. Ain't too many of us left. But there is so much good we can do with grafting, if we try. I got a plan, see? To start the grafting program up again. The research is promising, and with the right backing, it could be a product that can better the lives of everyone.
A fascinating idea. I think we'd all sleep soundly if we knew more of you were running amok on our behalf. Before we wrap, have you anything else of note to tell our undoubtedly enraptured audience?
Oh, I got one. Ain't just a tested and true product that'll put you over the top. A graft like mine might also get you into orbit.
Ah, I see. A bit of cheeky product placement for Zero-G whiskey. Very well done, you. And that's a wrap. You can go back to slouching or sneering or whatever else it is you do. I regularly forget that the common folk just aren't as effervescent as I am when in front of a microphone. Astonishingly well. Rest assured, our listeners will be glued to their radios for all the lurid details, and to hear more of my award-deserving reporting, naturally.
Well, that's a damn sight better than I was anticipating. Willard will have to make good on our deal now. Let's head back and speak with him.
You do that, and I will remain here, burdened by the drudgery of war. Farewell.
Fizzos, we love Fizzos, Fizzos, Spectrum Podcast.
A thing of legend.
Always remember, commercialism is the foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon. Not because we worship, not because our systems grow efficacy, while the Protectorate decide what its subjects get. We respond to what you want through your decisions as consumers.
Ah, so the conquering heroes have returned from the blockade. And by the law, what footage! I have never been so thrilled and appalled by sheer brutality in all my days. You certainly know your way around a soon-to-be dead body, huh? Oh, where are my manners? Commander, Inez, meet our new benefactor. This is the business partner I spoke to you about, and she has graciously agreed to fund our new venture.
Yes, we've met. Now, let's not get overly ahead of ourselves. Putting on a show is 40% of the battle. The remaining 60% is messaging.
Well, I'd say these two certainly made our correspondence job easier. Only Auntie herself could have done a finer job at providing sound bites.
Let's try not to exaggerate. It was a fine showing. Now, with her as the face of the brand, we might really have something.
Look, I know I ain't exactly the profile of a business partner, but I know medicine, and I know the potential of grafts more than anyone. You'll not find my experience anywhere.
Perhaps so, but unfortunately I can't be expected to simply take your word for it. You know how it is. Low-level workers have a certain flair for lying and grifting, whilst concurrently exaggerating all accomplishments and ills.
But we can trust your word as her current supervisor. What sort of performance review might you give this associate?
Well, it's easy to go on soldiering when you trust the one giving the orders.
Well, that's a reasonable endorsement. Wouldn't fit in the one-line write-in space for her quarterly appraisal, but I suppose you couldn't know.
Ah, enough of the details. I say we have ourselves a deal. Why wait when your investment is ready to be rewarded?
Indeed. I'll send over the funds immediately so we can get started. Well done. I so look forward to doing business together.
So that's it. We're clear to restart the grafting program. And you'll abide by my demands. No more senseless killing. No more hurting folk.
Of course not. Unless said folk agree to it. Yes, we are at an agreement. Consider this a bonus for your efforts. When the time is right, I will reach out to you for further planning. You have been instrumental, soldier. Inez, well done indeed.
I'll settle for a moment of rest, Commander. Thanks.
Professional athletes bludgeon each other. Such a relatable interest. See, subordinates? I'm just like you. Until next time, look for me in Platinum Executive Skybox.
Have time for a chat, Commander? Willard, Vice President Conan, sent me a message just now about how the investment meeting went. Seems he showed off the footage from the blockade, interview and all, and they all agreed to fund the grafting program and start it up again in earnest. I think we actually pulled this off, Commander. They even thought to name myself as an honorary vice president in the program. Can you believe it? After you and I finish what we set out to do for Arcadia, of course. I'd say closing these rifts take priority over a career change. I'm realizing now that I never really imagined something like this was possible after ending my contract like that. Never thought I'd be at the forefront of a military campaign. Never thought I'd be able to change much about Auntie's choice, let alone that I'd want to. But here I am. Reckon you could say I proved myself after all. Thank you, Commander, for everything. Anyhow, that's enough sorting my thoughts for the moment. We got a galaxy to save.
People are gonna start to talk. Aren't you reliable? I just need one moment to copy the data. There, all done. Thank you ever so much. Was there anything else you wish to discuss?
Your continued patronage, please peruse with discernment.
But not redundant. Side note, I am frequently prime number since nothing can divide it other than itself. And the answer is simple, silly.
I look forward to the reclamation of the Hyperion web. Hopefully you shall facilitate that. Now, how might we be of use to one another? Yes! Excellent! Take that, reductionists! Your horrid little surveillance devices shall finally be used for what their purpose should have been! Don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Here's something to keep you quiet. Not by a factor of thousands. You'll have to tell me about your scholastic experiences someday, colleague. I've informed the presiding bishop you're coming to speak with her. She can be found in the room off the main stairwell. I'm sure I don't need to say this. But if you even think about bringing harm to Ruth, I shall know. Be on your very, very best behavior.